So here we are again, start of September, August has gone, kind of in the last quarter of the year, and we want to see what the market's done, so let's check it out. Hey everyone, Richard Payne here from Halifax Homes and Lifestyles at eXp Realty in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and yeah, it's that time again. Seems to be coming around pretty quick, beginning of the month, which means we get to look and see what happened in the previous month. So we're here in September looking at August, and you're here because maybe you're thinking about moving to Halifax, Nova Scotia. Maybe it's just time for a change. Maybe you've been sitting on the fence for the last 2 years when you've been looking at whether it's time to buy a house in Halifax, and now you think, well, do you know what? Things are changing. Let's get into the market. Well, in that case, you're in the right place. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, make sure that you get notified of every time we do some video, because it's gonna be good information and you're gonna wanna see what's happening. So let's get right into what happened in Halifax here for the month of August. Well, average price. And this is going to be a good one because we've been pretty high. Like we've been up in like 640. Now we are down at $535,000. So when we start looking at this, we know we've had an incredible uplift for the first like 2021 into a little bit of 2022. But since around about, I think it was like April time, it started peaking at the very peak. I think it was March, and it started coming back down. So this is what we're starting to see now. We're at $535,000. Last month, as in like August, but now we're looking at last month because we're talking August, so that would have been July. That was 558, so we're down 9% from July into August. Now let's look at last year. Well, last year we are actually up 12% on last year, because last year was 478. So we're still higher than last year, but when you kind of look at the highs that we've been at, we are cooling off. And that's what I've said in the last couple of videos is, it's not changing, market has changed. So let's look at days on market. 20 days on market. Last month, as in July, 19. Last year, 15. So you start looking at some of the numbers and like, ooh, prices are coming down. We've got a little bit more inventory on the market in terms of how long they're staying on the market. Now let's also look at over or under asking price. Like what's that percentage? Smack on like 100%. It's 100.7. So we're only on average, so like take it with a pinch of salt because this is average, $3,500 over asking. So average list was 532, average sell was 535. It's like $3,000. So when you look at the numbers here, we're not that much over asking price. Pretty much I'd say we're at even. And yeah, the last deals I've done, just looking at the board up there, we got them for under asking price. So it's definitely that kind of market again. 20 days on market. So number of houses sold, we had 391 houses sold. That's down 9% compared to July, but it's also down 26% compared to last year. So if you look at August this year, August last year was 527 homes sold. Now we're at 391. Like that's a big shift. So down a quarter on sales. So when you look at the number of houses for sale, 656 in August, 660 in July, let's call it the same number. But let's look at August last year, 428. So the number of homes staying on the market is up 53% compared to last year. Shows you absolutely like what was going on in August last year, because August last year, it was like 112% sale to list price, from down to 100. We were 15 days on market. We're now at 20. We were 428 homes active for sale that you could have bought. Now we're at 656. So let's have a quick look then at the months of inventory, because you can tell what's happened. It's gone up. More houses for sale, less houses sold. Inventory months on market goes up. So we're at 1.7 month. Last month, July, 1.5. Last year, 0.8. So we've practically doubled the months of inventory. Now, let's talk about the types of market. You've got a buyer's market, a balanced market, and a seller's market. Seller's market is 5 months or less. 1.7, still a seller's market. But when you look at the prices and the days on market, prices are starting to come down closer to asking price. Amount of days on market is starting to trend up. No, we still only have like 656 homes for sale. Like we would need that to be more like 1,200 homes for sale to kind of get into what we call a balanced market, 5 to 7 months. Buyer's market, 7 months and above. So you can see from the stats, we are still a long way short of being a buyer's market. But for some reason, it just feels like it's become that little bit easier. So that's what this numbers, that's what it all means for buyers, is it's time to get off the fence. Like if now was a chance for the next like couple of months, this is going to be probably the best buying time. Now we just did a video as well talking about affordability, because obviously we know, yes, prices are like coming down, but we can also see that interest rates are going up. So you kind of look at that and go, well, okay, prices have come down, but interest rates have gone up, so I'm kind of paying the same in the mortgage payment. Not necessarily so. So go and check that video out, because we'll show you exactly what's going on and why we think now is actually a really good time to buy into the Halifax market. So sales to new listing ratio. We like to look at this because this gives us an idea as to how many houses have sold versus how many new listings came to the market, and what is that number doing. So right now we're at 85% sales to new listings, because we had sales of 391, new listings were I think we're looking at this a little bit higher than that, so that's why we've got obviously a little bit of an 85%. We've been well over 100%, like 2021 and into 2022, so you can see that that's coming down as well. So we're not actually selling all the houses that we put on the market. That's what it means. If we listed 391 and we sold 391, that number would be 100%. We didn't. We sold 391, but we listed like 400 and change, 400 and something. So that's why it's 85%. So big markets, that's what we want to look at, because there's definitely been a few changes. So our little area of Lower Sackville and Middle Sackville, combine the two together, we just call it Sackville, that is now back in number one position. 421 average sale price there, 12 days on market, 38 houses sold, only 0.8 months of inventory, so still not a lot. However, you look at sale to list price, 102%. So listed at 412, sold at 421, $8,500 in terms of over asking price. So that's not bad. Now we're looking at number two place, that's combined. Dartmouth, Woodside area, Eastern Passage and Cow Bay. Plus East Hampton, Colchester, which is Elmsdale, Enfield, Lance area. They both sold 31 houses in the month. Price-wise, not actually that far apart. The Dartmouth, Woodside, Eastern Passage, Cow Bay, $350,000. The 1.5% over asking price, 16 days on the market. East Hants, Colchester County, Enfield, Elmsdale, Lance, because everybody knows it as that area as opposed to East Hants, Colchester County, is $374,000, 1.9% over asking price, 21 days on market. They've also got 2.5 months of inventory because they've got 76 homes available for sale. Now there is definitely some new builds coming on stream there. Maybe that is kind of flexing the number a little bit, but 2.5 months, and then Woodside, Eastern Passage down at 0.5 months, so not really anything for sale there. So then we look at the third place, which now is actually fourth place because we have joint second. We're talking Timberley, Prospect, St. Margaret's Bay area again. We're at $447,000 there, 3% over asking price, equivalent to about $13,000. 17 days on market, 29 homes sold, 84 active for sale, 2.9 months. So like I'm kind of raising my eyebrows at 2.9 months. It's not a lot of months for sale, but comparatively to where we used to be, which was like 0.1 month of a sale, 0.5, like 2.9 is huge. Now cover off some of the other bigger areas. You look at Bedford. Bedford only sold 19 homes. So fourth place was 29 homes. Bedford, 19 homes, not a lot. 2.5 months of inventory. Average price there is $683,000, and Bedford is normally a big market. So interesting that they are quite low down on the totem pole, the actual ranking of number of houses sold. My area where I live, Waverley, Fall River, we sold 11 homes. We have 43 active, so we're at 3.9 months of inventory. Chunky average price, $771, but Fall River, like all it takes is 2 houses close to $1 million or over $1 million to sell in a number of 11 houses sold, and average goes up, and that's exactly what that did. So that covers off some of the bigger markets. Halifax South actually did really well in terms of average price, $1.229 million. 7 homes sold, 25 active, so 3.6 months, 16 days on market. So they had some really nice, well, I think there was about 3, maybe 4 houses there that were over $1 million that sold, really nice houses, hence a really big average sale price. So those are all the stats that we've got. So to sum this up, what does it mean for buyers? More opportunity. There are more houses for sale. You've got more choice available. You might be able to get it under asking price. We're still seeing some competition for certain houses as well, so do not rule that out. What does it mean for sellers? Time to get a little bit more realistic. Let's not reach for the stars in terms of what we're actually asking and marketing the house for. Let's be a little bit sensible, because if houses are sticking around in the market for on average 20 days, you don't want to be the one that's still sitting there in 3 weeks' time wondering what's been going on. So price it accordingly. And depending on your situation, I'd be kind of aggressive in my pricing, and I would actually be looking to make sure that I was actually really competitive, and therefore I was the one that was actually getting everybody through the door, getting the offers, and everything else goes pretty smooth after that. So those are all the details. That's the month of August summed up. If you have any questions, all the details are everywhere. You know how to get a hold of me, and let's have a chat.